So early National Signing Day, it's coming up. And you know what that means? You're going to see flips. You're going to see schools sign kids that maybe you didn't know that they were in the running for. And I think Oklahoma has a couple of surprises to pull out of the hat come early signing day, even National Signing Day. And I want to talk about a couple prospects that Oklahoma could be looking to flip by National Signing Day. But before we dive into it and before we talk about it, guys, thank you for tuning into the PG Show, where we talk about all things college football. But we got to show Oklahoma a little bit of love because that's our home team, and that's who a lot of you guys show up to hear about. If you guys have not already, make sure you hit that like, you hit that subscribe button, and do me one favor. Join the discussion. Jump in the comments below. I want to know who you guys think Oklahoma is going to flip, because they're going to flip at least one prospect. I guarantee you that. Okay, well, I shouldn't say guarantee. I believe that. I believe they'll flip at least one prospect. I want to hear who you guys think it is. Okay, so I want to look at a couple guys here. And the first one is that I think we have to start with is a guy that you guys might not be familiar with, because his name just recently got linked to Oklahoma, and that's going to be the 4-star defensive lineman Dalen Evans, who's currently committed to Texas A&M, but he told On3 that he's actually going to be doing visits with He's going to actually be doing visits with USC, Texas, and Oklahoma all in January. So he's not going to be signing with Texas A&M on National Signing Day. He's going to be looking potentially for another home. And this is big news, because if you're Oklahoma, you've kind of asked yourself, who's going to be that final defensive lineman? And Oklahoma is certainly still in the running for Dominic McKinley. And let's say you land Dominic McKinley. Well, if you land Dalen Evans on top of that, that is a cherry on top of the ice cream sundae. Because let me tell you a little bit about Dalen Evans. Dalen Evans is a top 100 player in the 247 composite rankings, the number 44th overall player in the 247 rankings. So 247 really values Dalen Evans. He's 6'4.5", 260 pounds. So you look at him and say probably more of an edge rusher, but he'll come in, he'll strength and condition, probably put on a little bit of weight, and you never know, he could play a little bit of the interior. Out of Pine Tree High School in Longview, Texas. Listen, this is one where you didn't expect it, but he's got a really good body. He's got a good 79-inch wingspan, and he is displayed, and you can see it here in the film, he's got a lot of strength, and, coming off the point of attack, he's able to continue to keep his eyes on where the ball is on the field. So if it's coming through his lane, he's able to clean it up. So he's also a multi-sport athlete. He plays basketball and track and field, but he's visiting Texas A&M this weekend. And then the question is, after that, who's getting his commitment? So far in his career, 95 total tackles is what I have, 30 tackles for loss, 9 sacks, 5 pass breakups, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 fumble recovery for a touchdown. So would be big if the Oklahoma Sooners were able to flip Dalen Evans from Texas A&M. And Oklahoma fans, surely you would have to be happy, because Texas A&M's killed you in defensive line recruits, and you'd finally get them back, or at least it feels like you would finally get them back. Looking at some of the schools that Dalen Evans has actually visited, so you guys can get a broader scope on his actual recruitment. He's been to Texas 3 times. So if you're Oklahoma, you're climbing an uphill battle here, because, currently committed to A&M, but he's been to Texas 3 times, and Texas is one of those schools that's in the mix. So let's not count our bets on it, but as this develops, it's going to be something that we actually want to watch. Now, the next one I want to talk about is Dominic McKinley, the 5-star defensive lineman out of Lafayette, Louisiana. And we've talked about him all year, because this is a talent that, if you're an OU fan, if you're Todd Bates, you absolutely want to go out there and land. You absolutely want to go out there and land him. The question is, Are you going to be able to pry him out of Texas A&M's grasps? And I mean, I believe if he decommits from A&M and he flips anywhere, it's going to be to Oklahoma. But Texas has been a problem in this recruitment. I mean, they almost got the commitment before he committed to A&M. And at the end of the day, you can say almost isn't almost. He hasn't signed on paper. So that almost plays a lot of weight, I feel like. So I look at Dominic McKinley and I say this. Mom loves Oklahoma. He's had in-home visits with LSU, Tennessee. I believe A&M's already done theirs. He's got ours. He's got Texas coming up. And then he's got Syracuse. Syracuse is where Elijah Robinson is now, which is part of the reason why you see Dominic McKinley even potentially entertaining the idea of looking at another school, because he came out and said while Coach Robinson was there that he was all in. He was all in on Elijah. So Dominic McKinley, not a whole lot new there outside of he's getting the in-home visits. Todd Bates going to be there. He was there for his state championship game. And if you're Oklahoma and you flip Dominic McKinley and then you have a defensive line class of Nigel Smith, Jaden Jackson, David Stone, Wyatt Gilmore, Dominic McKinley, I feel like I'm missing somebody else. This is an incredible defensive line class, and you are ready in the trenches when you go to the SEC. Now, the last guy that I want to look at, and if you notice, we're talking all about trenches here, because this is where Oklahoma, I feel like, really needs to finish this class strong. And the last one that I want to talk about is Tyler Mercer. He's an offensive lineman out of Prosper, Texas. And this is a name that you might be familiar with. His name's been thrown around, I believe, and somebody might have to correct me on this. I believe he's been offered a PWO from Oklahoma, but he's got a scholarship offer from Tulane where he's currently committed. And I believe Alabama is snooping around with this kid now as well. But Tyler Mercer is a guy that I would look at to fill the hole now of Caden Green. And although he's not the talent of Caden Green, I think he's a body that could come in there, provide some good competitive depth, and potentially be a multi-year starter for you down the road. You might be saying, wait, he's a 3-star, 6'4", 275 pounds. This looks like a guy that you get in the Bill Bedenborough program, and he just fits. He fits with what Bill Bedenborough can do. And I'm not going to lie, I feel like everybody that Bill Bedenbaugh's got in this class so far, I feel like they all have a chance to kind of really shine. I mean, Eugene Brooks, who is right now, I think, a top 175 player in the country. You potentially are getting Eddie Pierre-Louis tomorrow. You're getting Isaiah Autry. Like, I really like some of the takes. And you get Tyler Mercer, it's just another opportunity to sit here and develop somebody. Now, 2025, that's the real prize. 5 stars galore. Oklahoma seems to be in good position there. The question is, can you pony up the NIL money? Because as we've seen with defensive linemen and offensive linemen, that's really what this is going to come down to. No matter who they are, how good they are, NIL is always going to have a factor in these recruitments. So, yeah, that's it, guys. Flip miss is here. And I think Oklahoma's going to flip a couple prospects. And I'm going to say this. It would not shock me to see Oklahoma go out there and flip or get a commitment from an offensive lineman that we have not heard from, that we've never even heard of, because that's what the staff does. And the offensive line is a huge need right now. So, guys, I need to hear from you. I need to hear what y'all's thoughts are. If you haven't already, make sure you're joining the discussion, jumping down in the comments below. Let me know who you guys think Oklahoma could potentially flip. If you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. YouTube wants you guys to watch one of those videos.